Well, yep, it's official. Mikey has screwed up. Hello everybody, I'm Mikey from redheart.com as well as the Crochet Crowd, and I've just got off the phone with Kristen Amdahl. She's the designer of this beautiful crochet, it's a spiral crochet lapcan. Love this afghan. I've seen it before, actually about 6 months ago in a live show. Loved it. So it's been sent here for me to work on a tutorial. So today I was going to film a tutorial, and I've been working frantically. Honey, I've been crocheting like the wind and trying to get my version done. And so I like to substitute yarns just to give a different perspective of the exact same pattern. So this is not a different pattern, this is the same thing. But what is going on in my pattern? I'm not even done, and I can't even finish it because when I go to lay this thing down, it just totally, I know I'm kind of over exaggerating, but I'm really not. I'm trying not to deny it. This afghan won't sit down. So anyway, so I contacted Kristen this morning and I said, well, you know what? Something is not going right with my afghan. My afghan is all buckling up. And so anyway, so she was like, the first words coming out of her mouth. I love Kristen a lot, so just so you know, she used the G word, and as soon as you use the G word with me, I'm in trouble. I'm one of those people where I don't pay attention to gauge. I substitute yarn like you wouldn't believe, and it's usually never a problem until this. And the reason why this is a problem versus other patterns is that this pattern needs to work in conjunction with other shapes. So what you see here is that you see shapes all working together, and if your gauge is wrong, and you substitute your yarn like I do, you're going to end up with an afghan that will not sit down. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to take you through the ins and outs of doing gauge. I'm going to talk to you about the importance of doing yarn substitution and what you can do in order to prevent yourself from having this. So let's do that next. So gauge is really important, and that's where I fall down every time. I'll tell you right now, I don't gauge. I hardly ever gauge. If I gauge, it's because I really, really have to. I just want to get into a project. I want to get it done and get it off my hook. I'm no different than you. I just am excited about it. But it doesn't always work out that way. So in regular scarves and afghans where we're just going back and forth, and especially you can really notice this when we do crochet challenges, is that everybody's project looks either a different width or it looks a different height. And that's because we all crochet in our own unique way. So in patterns they have what is called a gauge, and it's always indicated in the instructions to tell you what is actually in the photograph. So for example, this one here, it says that there is 12 stitches across going in 4 inches. So if you were to measure 4 inches, you will have 12 stitches going across, and if you measure 4 inches going up, which I'll cover in just a moment, you will have 12 rows. And so in order to get this afghan that you see here, as per Kristen's instructions, is that you have to follow that gauge. And the reason why that one's important versus any other kind of afghans that we do where we just go straight back and forth is that these blocks that we're doing all fit to each other. And so essentially what's happening is that if your gauge is all messed up and your yarn is being substituted, even if you're not going to substitute your yarn and the gauge isn't matching, you are going to have what you see here. I know, it's not my proudest moment. So I'm going to have to pull all of this apart and re-begin. But I want to show you something. It didn't always look like this, and so as I've gotten bigger, afghan-wise, it's looking more deformed, and so I want to share with that in just a moment. So in the beginning, I ended up with a square as my sample. I got really excited about it, and so then I realized I could understand Kristen's pattern. So it looks really nice and flat here, doesn't it? And so when you lay it down, voila, it looks nice and flat. This one also did look nice and flat when it was this size. It's when I got to being slightly bigger that it started to become deformed. So there's a few reasons for that, which I will admit to you right now. I wasn't paying attention very closely to my my stitch counts. I was watching too much Bates Motel TV series, and so I can actually, when I look back, I see that I've added a couple of extra stitches here and there. And I'm laughing at myself because I know better than that. I should have actually counted that, because this is one of those afghans where it has to work together. So if I'm going to throw in a few extra stitches here, a few extra there, this is what it's going to look like. So this is my fault here. What I also realized is that because my gauge was off, my center square, when I was paying attention and not watching Bates Motel, is actually square. But when I did this one here, turns out I missed 2 rows right in the center square. So this is one of those patterns where I think I should turn off the TV and actually think about it. But I want to show you some tips, because even when I followed the gauge, I was still wrong, and I want to give you tips on how to fix that. And I'm laughing at myself because I'm so embarrassed that I'm showing my my stupidity right here on camera. So Kristen said to me this morning, well, what was your gauge? And I was like, oh my God. So I just wrote back, I said, honey, I never gauge. And she writes back, honey, I'm just trying to help you. Honey, I'm beyond help. I don't know why that's not even clear by now. So it says in the gauge that there should have been 12 stitches going across and then 12 rows going up. So what you have to do is that you have to create a swatch. A gauge swatch. And essentially what you're going to just do is that it says 12 inches, or sorry, 12 stitches going across. So I did my 12 going across, and it should equal 4 inches if it's done right. And so what I did is that I did it. So going across, I got my 12 stitches, okay, and it does not equal 4. So that's my problem. So that's one of my problems here. And so then when I did it in the other direction, I should have 12 rows going in the up direction. That equals 4. And that only equals 3.5 too. So my whole gauge, so in one direction my gauge is right, so I have 12 going in the right direction. But in the other direction it's wrong. And maybe because I miscounted the rows too. Anything is possible at this point. But it's proving to me that my stitch counts are not going to be in balance. And so when it comes to a project like this, I'm in big trouble. So I thought to myself, okay, I've substituted the yarn because I know my audience is going to, and I know that they're going to be complaining if they ended up with something like this, and I'm going to say, well, I don't know. But the first word I'm going to say to you is, did you swatch it? So I did a sample. So then I thought, okay, I'm going to do the sample that Kristen has. I'm going to do it in the same yarn. And guess what? The results are the same. So it's absolutely me. It's my hook. It's my technique. It's my style. And when you lay them both on top of each other, they're exactly the same. So no matter what my success is going to be with this gauge or with this hook right now, even though I've substituted the yarn, even though the yarns are classified as within the same level of weight, I'm still in trouble. So in order to fix that, we have to get more stitches. So for example, my rows are not equaling, they're not wide enough, and my height's not high enough. So that means that it's in my hook. So even though she's asked for a 6mm or a size J crochet hook, because of the way that I crochet and because I'm tighter than she is, that this Afghan is not going to work out unless the gauge is set right. Also, the yarns are not all equivalent. So the yarn that we used, that she used, was Treasure, and this is a boutique Treasure, and the yarn I used was Soft Baby Steps. Was it? Soft Baby Steps. The yarn behaves differently. Where the Treasure has more of a drape and flow, this one here is a very soft, but it doesn't have the drape. Therefore, when it's down on a table like this or on your couch, it looks and acts differently, so it doesn't want to bulge. So I haven't actually got rid of all my yarn tails yet at this point. So I did all my yarn tails on the bottom, just like so. And so no matter what I do to this thing, I'm going to have to pull it apart. No matter how I stretch it, I'm always going to end up with here. So that's because I've kind of really missed the mark when it came to this. I added too many stitches because I was watching too much Bates Motel, and then on top of that, my hook. So for example, so if say she wants to get 12 stitches going, and that should equal 4 inches. Now you can say to yourself, this is totally cheating, and this is totally going to burn you too. So don't even go there with me with that. So what's going to happen? I'm going to say, okay, well, well, it's 3.5 inches, but if I do this, it's now 4. You can't do that. You're not allowed to do that, because what happens is that you're making it stretch unnaturally, and therefore the Afghan, because it's yarn, it's going to want to go back to its regular being as far as a stretching point. So you can stretch it all you want, but honey, it's going to stretch back, and you're still going to end up with this. So to substitute with something like this, I would actually go up to a 7mm or slightly higher than 6.5. in order to check my gauge in order to do it. So in this one particular Afghan, because the blocks are fitting together, because of the way that we're doing it, that it is so critical that you're actually following gauge. This is important with clothing. So we see this with clothing too. our mothers do baby sweaters. All of a sudden you've just done a sweater for a teddy bear, not even size for a human. And it's really not your fault. It's the fact that you might be tighter than other people when it comes to the actual designs that you did see. So this is one of those key concepts that if you can figure out how to do gauge. So to do gauge, you just do the amount of stitches that it's asking. So 12 stitches across, and then do the 12 rows going up as per this pattern here. And this should equal the amount of stitches that the designer is asking for. And if it doesn't, it means that you're a different type of crochet. Your tension's different than what it's asking for in the pattern. Therefore, you should substitute your hook in order to make a difference. So until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of redheart.com as well as the Crochet Crowd. We'll see you.